All praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham HaRakakodash. Double honors to our apostle elders, which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom. Wa abba. Alright, so I wasn't going to do a sit down on this, but it came up on my YouTube channel, and I watched a little bit of it. So I'm going to give you my 2 cents using the scriptures. Alright, the title of this video is IUIC GMS wife left barefoot and pregnant. Alright, which is a bunch of bullshit. Alright, let me go ahead and play it.
Quick, chapter 1, verse 4. Oh, you made the face. So that's where you learned it from? All right, so you learned it from GMS, right? So I'm going to show you how that just don't make sense, right? Go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. You know?
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
So what's the lights that divide the day from the night? The moon and the sun, right? Right? What day this is? What day we talking about today? On this happened. Let's read. Go ahead.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so.
And we're talking about the sun and the moon, right? Read.
And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day,
which is the sun. Read.
And the lesser light to rule the night,
which is the moon, right? Read.
He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
So what day did God make the moon? Just read that last part one more time.
And the evening and the morning were the 4th day.
So what day did God make the moon? The what day? I can't hear you. The 4th day, right? So God made the moon on the 4th day, right? So did he?
Which, alright, that's misleading, that woman, alright? Because the Lord made the sun and the moon on the 4th day, alright? But then he made the Sabbath on the 7th day, alright? Which really, these are thousands of years, alright? It's not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. It's not a week. It's actually 4,000 years, alright? 5,000 years, 6,000 years, 7,000 years. So, when the Lord did the 7th day, he rested, alright? And that's what he named as the day of Sabbath. Right here, Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. And on the 7th day, Elohim ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work which he had made. And I said Elohim because that's the name that's there, all right? In God, it says Elohim. But in fact, it would be Elohim. Elohim. It's plural for rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods, which Yahweh is the power, the supreme God. And then Yahushai, the only begotten Son, which is the Messiah. He's a God. All right, he's a lower God than Yahweh. Yahweh is the supreme being, but Yahushai is the son of Yahweh. So Yahushai is a God. All right, and the Israelites are gods, but die like men now. So back then, the Elohim were the elect men that were creating heaven and earth with Yahweh and Yahushai. All right, so the Sabbath is on the 7th day, not the 4th day, not Sunday, Saturday, Friday to Saturday, not Saturday to Sunday. All right, it's according to the new moon. All right. Let me get it. It says in Psalms 81 verse 3, blow up the trumpet, which we do on a Sabbath day, in the new moon. So the new moon is the beginning of the month. Month, it comes from the word moon. In the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Do you see? All right. It says in Isaiah 66 verse 23, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. So that tells you right there, from one new moon to the other, all right, that's a month. And then every new moon is a new Sabbath, which that month will be, the Sabbath will be on that new moon, for the rest of the month. Whether it was Monday, Tuesday, which it goes from one day to the other. Because the night is the morning, right, which is evening, as it says in Genesis. I'm going to go back to Genesis. It says, let me see how it's said. It says, let me go down here. It said, see, it says in verse 19, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So evening is really the beginning of that day, not the morning. All right, the evening, when the sun goes down, that's the beginning of the next day. Just like the new moon. The new moon, when you don't have a moon because it's blacked out, it's waning. All right, that's the beginning of a new moon, a new month. You're in the middle of the month when you have a full moon. All right.
Right? So did he start over when he started counting for the Sabbath? Did he say, okay, this is the day, so now we go 7 days from here to get to the Sabbath? Did he start over?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right, so here's the Passover. Done with the Passover. All right, let's get to where it tells you what day this is. All right. See, it says in Leviticus 23, verse 5, in the 14th day of the first month at even is Yahweh's Passover. So it's not right at the new moon, which would be the first day of the month, but 14 days after the new moon is the Passover, which the Passover, Numbers 9 verse 5, and they kept the Passover on the 14th day of the first month at even. And what is 14 days? 7 and 7, 2 weeks, 14 days at even in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that Yahweh commanded Moses, so did the sons of Israel. All right, so that shows you these IUIC, false prophets don't know nothing. They really don't know nothing. They might know they're Israelites, but that's where it ends. They don't have no breath in them.
Say, okay, this is the day, so now we go 7 days from here to get to the Sabbath. Did he start over? Or did he go to the 5th day, and then the 6th day, and then the 7th day? Read Genesis 2 and 1.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished.
So after the first day, the second day, third, fourth day, we made the moon, fifth.
But these days are 1,000 years. Let me grab that. That's what they lack wisdom. And the fear of Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushua, is the beginning of his wisdom, the beginning of wisdom. But they don't even know the name. They're still calling him on Caesar Borgia. But it tells you in 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, That one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. So in Genesis, when it's saying one day, it's actually 1,000 years. All right. So as it says right here, it says, let's see, an example right here, 13. And the evening and the morning were the third day. That's 3,000 years. All right. It's not 1 week, 3 days of a week. It's 3,000 years. All right. So he made the sun and the moon on the 4,000 year, but then he made the Sabbath on the 7,000 year. All right. But when he ended the 6,000, when he completed all his work, he rested the seventh day on the 7,000 years.
So after the first day, the second day, third, fourth day, where he made the moon, fifth, sixth day, it says, now everything was finished, read.
And in all the host of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made.
So on the seventh day, he rested. So how can the seventh day change depending on the month? Like, how that make sense? Because if that was true, then the seventh, he would have said, okay, I made the sun and the moon on the first day, and then we deal with it by the moon. But he didn't do that. He went first day, second day, third day, fourth day made the moon.
And he's looking at it as it's day, like 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. But he's talking like he knows something. IUIC does not know the scriptures, all right? And I'm talking about their low-level men that are out there supposedly teaching, all right?
And 5, 6, 7 Sabbath day. So that don't make any sense.
And this is the fault of the leadership, all right? Who is guilty of this? The leadership. The men that sit up there and everybody praises, all right? Bishop Nathaniel, who's worth $150 million. Why do you think he's worth so much? Because he deceives. He's a devil. He's a deceiver to his own people, which he's going to have to face the judgment of that, which is a horrible death.
Exactly. Right?
And that's if he don't repent. That's if he don't repent, because the Lord could pull him out of that mess, all right? But as it says, in the elect, there is no deception. It tells you that in Revelation 14, all right? Now, it's up to the Lord who he saves. I'm not saying he can't save Bishop Nate, but I'm just saying this is what it would say in the scriptures, all right? Revelation 14, verse 4, these are they which were not defiled with women, talking about false doctrines, for they are virgins. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. So we change to what the Lord has said. We don't question it. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb. And in their mouth was found no guile, so no deceit. For they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai. All right, but IUIC is full of deceit. That's why their leadership are devils. All right, and if they don't repent, they're going to die the death of a devil, which is going to be the nuclear destruction of America.
It let you know that we got a lot of people that's teaching the Bible wrong. And the reason why it's getting taught wrong that way is because they not keeping the commandments. Right? Were you with them at one time? Maybe. You broke your stomach. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Okay. All right. Your baby father, your husband.
See, and this is why really it's better for a man not to touch a woman. All right, because these women ain't women no more. They're female dogs. All right, and as you can see, she's pregnant with a man, which she claims is of GMS, but she backstabs him and comes to IUIC to shed tears and say he left her barefooted and pregnant. All right, which we know, according to the commandment of the Lord, that you can't abandon your family. You can't abandon your kids, or else you'll be worse than an infidel. All right? And most of the time when these women act like they're abandoned by men, it's really the woman that is not cooperating with the man. All right? So these women are very wicked, all right? So let me get that. In Ecclesiasticus 25, verse 19, it says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. So death. That's the wage of a sinner, is death. All right? And then, let me get one more. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 9, verse 9. Sit not at all with another man's wife. So when, women come up to our camp, right away we tell them, where's your man? She ain't got a man. Sometimes you got to ask these women a couple times, because they're rebellious and they're deceitful. But eventually, like the last time, there was a young girl in a real skin-tight dress, thirsty as fuck. And we told her, you got a man? She said no. I said, you got a husband? She said no. I said, you got a man? She said yes. So they're confused. And then liars and deceitful. And then, we told them, we can't teach you nothing. Get out of here. Because you're not to sit not at all with another man's wife. And what does that mean? Sit and have a conversation with her. You're not supposed to talk to another man's wife about weather, about dinner, about your woman. It don't matter about nothing. You're not supposed to even look at another man's wife. Honestly, you're not even supposed to see her. It says, nor sit down with her in thine arms, because that's where it's going to lead. And spend not thy money with her at the wine, lest thine heart incline unto her. And so through thy desire thou fall into destruction. And that's what's going to happen to the majority of these Jake. All right, they're going to fall into destruction. Whether it's an actual woman that deceives them because men have foul out of their wits over women, or is it the false doctrines of Esau, that they get deceived by? It says that more will die than will be saved. That's in 2nd Ezra 8, verse 1. And he answered me, saying, the Most High hath made this world for many, but the world to come for few. All right? Because the majority of the people, and I'm talking about the Israelites, all right, they're going to die by fire. All right? They're going to be deceived into taking the MOTB, the implantable microchip, and they're going to die with it in the lake of fire at the return of Yahushua. Verse 3, it says, there be many created, but few shall be saved. All right? More are going to perish than are going to be saved. All right?